Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and keep watching more details. Todd and Julie Chrisley's first words after being released from prison revealed. The patriarch and matriarch of the Chrisley real estate and reality TV empire were sentenced to federal prison in 2022 and pardoned by Donald Trump in May. After 2.5 years in prison, Todd and Julie Chrisley were finally reunited in May after receiving pardons from President Donald Trump. Now their touching first words to each other have finally been revealed. The last time I was in this space was when I was dropping my dad off at prison. And now I'm in this space watching him come back to us, watching him come home, watching him have a clean slate. Their daughter Savannah shared on the 6th episode of the new Lifetime series The Chrisleys, Back to Reality. Savannah, who led the charge to obtain pardons for her parents after they were sentenced to federal prison in 2022 on bank fraud and tax evasion charges, learned that her parents would be released less than 24 hours before it was set to happen. Back to Reality documents Savannah springing into action with her friend Tyler to pick Todd up from the federal prison camp in Pensacola, FLA, while younger brother Grayson drives to the Federal Medical Center in Lexington, CI, to pick up Julie. Grayson is joined by Savannah's friend Pamela, Chrisley cousin Amber, and Amber's boyfriend. Todd and Julie had their own emotional reactions to finally clearing the gates of their respective facilities. But Savannah described her parents seeing each other after 2.5 years as extremely overwhelming. "You did it," Todd exclaimed to his daughter after being discharged from the Pensacola prison and stepping into her rented car. "It's just like it hasn't even registered yet," he remarked, before immediately pivoting his focus back to issue no. One in Chrisley world, the family. "Have you checked in with your mom?" he asked. Julie was released after Todd and is shown on Back to Reality running to the gates of the Lexington prison, eager to embrace her youngest son, Grayson. "I'm back," she yells as she's freed. With both Chrisley parents finally on the outside, the kids reunite them over FaceTime, which causes Todd to break into tears. "I've missed you so much I can hardly stand it," he told Julie. "Watching my mom walk out was an amazing feeling. I mean, it's what we'd been waiting on for 3 years," Grayson remarked in a confessional interview. Savannah concurred, recalling, "Seeing mom and dad see each other for the first time is extremely overwhelming and emotional because they didn't see each other for years." The couple of nearly 30 years shed more tears when Todd finally made it back to the Tennessee Chrisley compound and was reunited with Julie in person. "Oh my God, you look like your dad," she remarked after a long embrace. Todd joked back, tossing her newly brunette locks that haven't been able to see hair dye in nearly 3 years. "This seems weird. We gotta get that fixed." Though Todd and Julie's homecoming was received with overwhelming warmth by the extended Chrisley clan and all their friends, not every member of the core crew is happy with how the pickup went down. Savannah and Grayson's older brother, Chase, Todd's mother, Nanny Faye, and Julie's parents, Pam and Harvey Hughes, were all left out of the prison pickup plans, and they all made their displeasure at that fact known. "I'm pissed off at the way this whole traveling situation has been handled," Chase remarked to Nanny Faye, who added, "I should have been there to pick up my son." Pam noted that she did want to be there when her daughter was finally released, despite what Savannah and Grayson may claim. "I said that since day one. The day we took her and I watched her walk up that sidewalk, I hope and pray that that day that she gets out that I can be here to see her walk back down that sidewalk and be free." For more than a year, Todd and Julie Chrisley's lives were defined by prison walls, steel doors, and the echoing sounds of a reality far removed from the glamorous lifestyle fans once saw on Chrisley Knows Best. But now, with the Chrisley patriarch and matriarch walking free, the world finally has the chance to hear their first words outside of incarceration. Words filled with equal parts relief, reflection, and revelation. The first breath of freedom. The morning air was cool when Todd and Julie stepped outside, hand in hand, into the unfiltered light of freedom. They both paused, breathing deeply as if the world outside carried a different kind of oxygen. Cameras flashed, reporters shouted questions, and fans waved signs of support. Julie, her voice soft but steady, leaned into the microphone and said, "The first thing I want to say is thank you, God, for carrying us through. We prayed every night, and we never stopped believing we'd get to this moment." Her words weren't rehearsed. They were raw, overflowing with emotion. She had always been the quieter half of the duo, the calm to Todd's storm, and now her gratitude came before anything else. Todd, on the other hand, stepped forward with that signature bravado fans knew well, but this time his voice carried the weight of survival. "We are not the same people who went in," he declared. "Prison humbles you. It strips you of ego, of comfort, of everything you thought mattered. But what it cannot take is faith, family, and truth. And that's what we're standing on today." Words of reflection. The couple, once at the center of luxury and controversy, had been forced to face the toughest chapter of their lives. Their first words weren't about anger or bitterness, but about transformation. Julie's eyes glistened as she spoke about her children. "Every night I'd picture their faces. Savannah, Chase, Grayson, Chloe. I wanted to be there to kiss their foreheads, to remind them that Mama loves them. That's what kept me alive. That's what gave me the strength to push through." Todd followed, his voice thick with emotion. "I missed birthdays, I missed hugs, I missed the little things, like Sunday dinners and Savannah's laugh when she tries to cook. People think prison only takes your freedom, but it takes moments you can never get back. That's the part that hurts most." Yet instead of dwelling on the pain, their first words also carried hope. "We've been broken down," yes, Todd admitted, "but sometimes you have to be broken to understand what really matters. Money, houses, fame, none of it kept us warm in those cells. Only faith did. Only love did. And that's what we're bringing forward." Messages to their supporters. Their release wasn't just about themselves. They both acknowledged the fans and supporters who had rallied for them during the darkest days. Julie lifted her chin, her hands trembling slightly as she addressed the crowd. "To everyone who prayed for us, wrote us letters, stood by us, even when it wasn't easy. You gave us light in the darkest places. You may never know how much it meant to open a letter and read words of hope when all you wanted to do was give up." Todd added his own flair, as always. "I used to joke about being the king of one-liners, but this one's from the heart. Y'all are the reason we kept fighting. Y'all didn't let the world forget us. And because of that, I stand here today with my wife by my side." Julie's quiet strength. Observers noted how Julie's first words carried a certain stillness, a wisdom formed not from spotlight moments, but from silence in her cell. She didn't talk about herself much. Instead, she spoke about healing. Prison takes you to the lowest point, and when you're there, you start to see people differently, Julie said softly. "You see women who have no family visiting, no letters coming. I held their hands when they cried, and they held mine. That's the sisterhood no one talks about. So I don't lead with anger. I lead with compassion for the women still in there who deserve a second chance too." Her words struck a chord. They weren't just her first public statements as a free woman. They were a message of empathy that many didn't expect. Todd's fire still burns. Todd, though clearly humbled, couldn't help but let his fiery personality shine through. "Make no mistake, we've been quiet because we had to be," he said, his tone sharp but passionate. "But don't think for one second that our story is over. If anything, it's just beginning." The truth has a way of finding the light, and we're ready to tell it our way.